It's getting to be beer 30. I'm doing rockers on this. This is XL 150 extended cab, XLT. Okay. You see how sleazy that is? They're starting to charge $80,000 and $90,000 for these trucks. They've got holes in the cab supports and mounts. A lot of times that was packaged to you as it saves weight. It's a weight saving, fuel saving. It destroys your truck. And I got a lot of people here, I just want the rust fixed. No, I don't want the rust coating. The rest of your car is still rusting, and it ends up even worse the following year. And the spot I just fixed looks beautiful. Doesn't make sense. Now for my political commentary. We got El Shalom cartel there from Israel running our White House. People, Donald Trump, why don't you tell the truth who's been trying to take your head off since you've been president, trying to talk you into this war? Because a lot of people thought Trump was a lot smarter, and I still think he is. But I think he was going to lose his life unless he cooperated with that psychopath over there in Israel. Okay? The United States is an embarrassment, and so is the UK. Well, MI6, that's become like a geriatric play school for geriatric retards. For every one MI6 or US CIA agent, Israel's got 10. And I hate to tell you that most of our CIA is corrupt. You see, as an Air Wing commander, okay, you're a frontline officer, as I was. I'm running the show, and I'm being recalled on targets that we're supposed to strike that are critical targets. I don't want to go into the, but they have emergency messages. Hey, this got to be taken care of now, and all of a sudden there's a fucking recall. Go figure. Okay, Israel wanted to keep these fires lit in the Middle East, and they wanted to let this craziness grow. I'm sorry, my eyes are burned from welding. I did a lot of welding under there today. This is not the way we want our country to be run, by the Jews from inside the White House and control our president, the next one. You see, that's how Nixon got hemmed up, framed up, and sent on his way, and everybody else has been a Jew puppet ever since so they can build their empire. Now, what is the strategy of all this? Well, the strategy ends up what I've been telling you in every video. Israel's going to be the pimp, China's going to be the hoe. Okay? Because just like Israel, China's got more spies, probably 20 more spies than our one CIA. And like I said, most of our CIA, they're worthless. FBI, worthless. You saw Comey, you saw the other retard. They're just not worth their salt today because there's too much money from that Chinese manufacturing base overseas. If you just looked at China recently in the automotive industry, they're recreating the Toyota, the early Land Cruisers, the ones you could put a 350 and four-wheel drive transmission in them, from America here. That was one strange sounding car. But anyway, take it to heart, okay? China is going to take over and dominate most industries while they put every industry under here because they work cheap, cheaper than American labor. That's why every Jew lawyer sued every business under the soil here, every industry. It went under soil, and it went overseas. It's got to stop. The bleeding and the bloodletting's got to stop. And you got to let Trump know, okay, as a citizen, that your shit filter's full. We're full of having bullshit like quantitative easing and all this other bullshit that doesn't exist, and changing the meaning of relatively assertive words into some other gibberish. At some point, the bullshit's got to stop. So, thank you for listening to my colorful commentary. And if you think you want to buy a brand new truck where there's holes right through the floorboard, I remember my grandfather, I wanted to put a fire extinguisher in my truck because me, on my way to school, It was October. The fuel mixture, the ratio changed in the Holly carburetor, and I'm out there fiddling with the timing and the carburetor. And all of a sudden, I had heaping big fireball and had a fuel leak. Almost lost the truck. Thank God it was not freezing out, and Mom still had the garden hose plugged in for the garden, because otherwise I would have lost the truck, and maybe we would have lost the house, if not a lot of siding. Uh, and the fire departments, they responded a little bit quicker in the older days than they do today, till they got to get out of the bar, the bathtub, or the whorehouse and get in their fire truck. And well, anyway, different story, different time. But anyway, I was about to drill holes through the floor of the truck, and my grandfather yanked me by the, you know, what are you doing? You don't drill holes, you're gonna get rust and all that other. And at that time, we were spraying motor oil if you could get the motor oil. I couldn't really get it except for my own vehicle because our shop used it. They were putting it on, some of the classics and the stock cars. Our stock cars, the front ends of them were under like a lean-to, and the back ends were out. So they would spray the back ends of the car down with the oil, to keep the rust out. I mean, it was a stock car. It wasn't a show car. It wasn't anything worth keeping under. It was just a summertime toy back in then. Stock cars were cheap to build back then, unlike they are today. So that is my story of political commentary and rust and stuff that we're getting scammed out of our existence. And you want to finance an $80,000-$90,000 truck all full of holes? Look at the cab mounts and the supports and stuff under those trucks. They got holes drilled right in them from the factory. Why? Make a solid goddamn mount. I got 40-year-old trucks with those solid mounts in them. They don't look nothing like these new trucks, let alone the metal delaminating and flaking off. They got solid frames. They don't delaminate. That's why I do rust work, and that's why I still smoke. I see my country being lit on fire before my very eyes, and I see a president being conducive to basically what I call crimes against humanity. I don't like what I see, and I don't like what I hear out of the man. I think he's got some funny quips. I got some too. But homicide, genocide. Do you want to lose your son or daughter? Have his balls blown off or their pussy blown off in some country named Jelly Blob over a rich man's war that the Jews want to possess the oil and the resources? This has gotten beyond the control of the voter, as you can see from California. That something's got to get reined in and the people got to take back over. And I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't promote the violence. But our president, Walz, is still on the loose. Ill in the head, Omar, Pelosi, Hillary. Every fucking lunatic is still out of the loony bin. And they're still up to the deviltry. Just remember, folks, about Hillary. She was sneaking around to Helsinki and every CIA spook hotspot. Who do you think was behind all of this? And who do you think gave enriched uranium to Russia and Iran? Because now with the cat's out of the bag, Trump's really pissed at Israel to find out they got 80-90% enriched in uranium. Well, let me tell you about the CIA stooges. You see, guys like me that were putting our ass on the front line, and some of us, like I said, we were contractors and stuff. We're putting our ass on the front line, and we know this is going on. And the CIA is nowhere. They're not even confronting what is going on. They don't want to hear it. It's a sad state our country is in. And our president, unfortunately, he's an accomplice to this. Whether it was willingly, like I said, you think it was Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck? I haven't had a word out of any of those Muppets that were trying to take his head off, and why? Oh, they're just batshit crazy. But somebody batshit crazy's got all those high-speed guns and bullets and knowledge of weapons making. How many 13-year-old, 16-year-old, 20-year-old kids here know how to make high-speed explosive in the mom and dad's basement? Folks, you really got to think. I wasn't taught how to make explosives in my basement. I mean, I knew how to make a pipe bomb I think a couple 4th of Julys we did that. We took some copper tubing and took some my dad's black powder or gunpowder and put it in them, and really didn't get much out of it. I mean, you really got to be some kind of Looney Tune to really love that type of anarchy. But then again, look at Israel. What would you know? El Shalom is doing there. He just keeps rattling the pot, stoking the fire up till the pot boils over, and he thinks he's going to keep going at our expense and in the expense of the lives of our children. That Muppet's got to be put down. He's one mad motherfucker. Thanks for watching my videos, folks, and hopefully I made a point. I mean, not everybody likes my colorful quips and language, but my descript is my condescending attitude was, as a flight wing commander, I'm trying to save young lives. I don't want to see anybody under the dirt before their day is due. That was the job of caring elder adults, is to make sure that that didn't happen. Doesn't matter whether you dislike the kid. Doesn't matter whether he big mouthed you once or twice. Doesn't matter whether he called you a dickhead. That didn't matter to a guy like me. That man coming back, maybe learning his mistakes, was more. That was more important to me, because some of them in the end, they did shake my hand and they did say I was wrong. I had the wrong. Some of them did learn, and others paid the price. And it's not something that. That's one thing when they put somebody like me in a volunteer position, in a position like that, with a responsibility to see those types of things that can happen. You see, I got to see the pictures of the aftermath. Not everybody died when their plane hit the ground. Some of them hit the ground with a parachute, and it was a very horrible death. I don't like to see those things. I don't like to think about those things. And it does keep me up at night. And it's mainly sometimes why I look like shit at times. People don't understand the things that men like me have been through, and the message that we're trying to get through to our White House are thick-headed politicians that are all corrupt. I haven't met an honest politician. You can't even call one of these son of a bitches and have a meeting with them around here. They don't even want to hear from you. Tell me who they're working for, because it sure as hell ain't me. I'm their constituent. Thank you for watching my videos, guys.